So Herban Market, I mean, it started like 9 years ago. A couple, Matt and Ashley Hogenkamp, they started this journey with this idea of just really wanting to give the community more of a healthy option and be able to provide something for everyone's children, everyone's family. So they started out with a very small market, and just a few years later, they grew into a restaurant, fast casual restaurant. And I came on board about 2.5 to 3 years after they had this restaurant, and it's been a journey. I mean, I had a restaurant for 7 years, a bakery for a couple of years, and pretty amazing to be able to go from that, going from Kentucky, where I had a restaurant, and then being in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where I'm literally praying about, Lord, what's the future look like? As we all were wondering in the pandemic, what does the future look like? And the future to me, it was amazing, because as we were praying about it and really letting the Lord guide us, I think that was the real pivotal moment of the Lord saying, like, hey, sketch out a market that is a bakery, coffee shop, fast casual restaurant, and then build a financial model that connects that. And I was thinking to myself back then, I was like, why am I doing all this? And I'm not gonna lie, I put it down for a couple months, and then right when I picked it back up and finished, it was like within 2 weeks, there was a gentleman that I haven't talked to in a year and a half, and he reached out and said, hey, Bobby, this is a long shot, but the Lord put it on my heart for me to contact you. These people really, they're looking for another chef, someone that can really help, build their business. And I was actually nudged to reach out to you. So I don't know if you have time to talk to these people. And, the Lord moved real fast, because within 1 month, we moved to Franklin, we bought a house, closed on a house, and started working at Herban Market all at the same time within literally 3 weeks. So it's pretty epic. And so now that I've been over at Herban Market for the past 2.5 years, it's been amazing. We work with about 40 plus farms locally, from Kentucky to Tennessee to Georgia. We're super, super intentional about what we do there. So we really focused on no seed oils, no modification, no hydrochlorides or any types of modification agents in food. And so I think that what it is my philosophy has always been protect God's people and protect God's money. And when you protect God's people and protect God's money, the easiest thing about doing that is you're really going back to the natural source, right? So you're going to the soil, and then whatever systems and structure that we put in place is always going to protect the people. So that really focuses on low turnover. And then also just a really, really, really strong culture, where everyone's able to experience joy, everyone's able to experience passion within the place. And with that, I think the guests see it, and the guests are able to experience that. So we've even broke every single thing down to we know where every single ingredient in our market and our restaurant is coming from. And we have actually, to this day, 0 seed oils in our market and in our restaurant right now. And that's a huge, huge challenge to get there. We also don't have any, obviously no hydrochlorides, no modifications and anything. So everything's natural, everything's pure. It's really beautiful to be able to work with, organic farms, whether you're working with Bloomsbury Farm in Smyrna, where we're getting all our herbs and, some different lettuces and stuff like that from them, or we're working with another mushroom farm or whoever, or a dairy farm. These farms are also growing because we are doing that much volume as well. It's just so beautiful to experience, because these farms are growing because there's a demand for it. I went from dishwashing, prep cooking, all the way to culinary school, and then I spent a few years in fine dining, I should say. And so I won a few 5 Diamond Awards from 29 to 32 years old, and then joined a restaurant group. After that, I started my own business, and then my business sold 7 years after that. So it's been a journey. And so, here I am today. I think that a lot of people can relate to myself. I think that, I grew up in a family that just didn't have a lot of financial resource. They were working all the time, just like most people do. And so you start cooking, and you go from cooking to now you have to have a job. I think what's amazing about this journey is I remember being such a young kid at 12, 13 years old and being very intrigued even probably before that. You know, when you look at that and you go, wow, like I love food. And also I love being around a lot of older people that gave me a lot more wisdom, and that there were just a lot of sharp people that were able to teach you about different things, you know, whether it's how to handle herbs or, you know, how to break down a pig, you know? So it's just like so many different angles, right? I think that at 16 years old, for sure, I knew I wanted to be a chef, like for sure. I mean, I remember like it was yesterday. I think the amazing thing is, you know, late spring, summer, you know, early fall, when you're not in school, it was always such a blessing to be able to go by, you know, the owner's house, and they'd give you the keys and say, Bobby, go ahead and open up, you know, and you would do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I think that that's where I get excited, is because you had the opportunity to really learn a lot and to take that ownership at such a young age and know, like, you know, what does that future look like? So it's something I've always wanted to do, and I thank God for that blessing every single day of just like knowing exactly what I wanted to do. Why is healthy food options so important? How much time you got? You know, it starts with the soil, obviously. And that's what we really focus on first, is like, how much nutritional value are we consuming? You know, that's where I'm fascinated about, like, what is local, and also what's that soil like? If I can get that produce quickly, or I can, whatever it is, I should say, from any farm, the nutritional value is going to be way stronger. So that's very important to start out with. I think also eating seasonal is as well, because our bodies change every day. You know, our health changes every single day. And so we need to be consuming more just local, consistent, just seasonal food, because it's going to provide the nutritional value that we need. I mean, the way that the Lord has really designed food, it's amazing. We're not consuming really tomatoes in December, right? We should be not consuming those in December, right? And you think about like what we do consume in December, when you think about like your root vegetables and your cabbages and stuff like that, right? We're talking about like really strong, good gut health, fighting bacteria. It's usually cold out, right? So it's like your body is really producing a strong immune system within its food, doing those practices, right? And that's the thing, is like, and you're gonna see that over the seasonality, you know, of that shift of cuisine. Besides that, I think that when it comes up to healthy food too, it's a need, you know, and that's the thing, is like, it's every single thing from the vinegar that we're consuming, right? If we're consuming vinegars, does it have a mother? Is it local, right? Kombucha, again, the mother, is it local? Honey, is it local, right? It's like, if we keep going, every single piece of this has that property that we need for nutritional value, where we're fighting different bacteria through the different weather shifts. Franklin, to me, has been almost a storybook. It's beautiful. The community's great. I think that what I have just been absolutely fascinated about being here in Franklin is the demand for eating healthy, the demand for wanting that nutritional value, for the demand of wanting to know where their food is sourced from. But it gets deeper than that, because they're so intentional here that it's like, how many people are making sourdough? As I've been in this journey for a while, I mean, I do draw a lot of inspiration from different chefs around the world. I'm fascinated with people like, you know, different chefs from Spain, or, you know, it could be Chef Bra that really gets dialed in, or you talk about like, you know, Chef Dan Barber at Blue Hill that really is so dialed in with the intentionality and the same philosophy and belief systems that I do have, that are really focused on being intentional with how they're sourcing every single ingredient, from dairy to a vegetable to how they're raising their animals. And to me, those people fascinate me and excite me, and they give me the ambition to strive further, to do more for the community. It's how can we provide something for you, and how can we be that intentional with telling you where every single thing comes from? How can we also be flexible towards allergies? Because, you know, whether it's you're gluten-free or you're focused on heavy protein, we want to tell you where your proteins are coming from. We want to be that intentional, but we want you as a guest to be able to sit down and go, wow, I can come here in this fast casual environment. I can eat a burger, a sandwich, I can grab a pizza, I can grab a salad, and know that when I leave, whether it's me or my family that are consuming, I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna have that joy. I'm gonna have that peace about it. I mean, that's the other thing too, is like I have a daughter with a food dye allergy, okay? Never forget, she's 10 now, she was 4 years old when she had a food dye allergy. And I thought to myself, like, how did she get a food dye allergy? No one knows, but it's real. So I think what I'm fascinated about that is that was one of my excitements too, about providing so much candy from around the world for these kids at Herban, that we're able to say, hey, there's no food dye. And to me, these kids, they're heartbreaking, right? They're around their friends get all the fun colors and all the, and I just say that because that's 1 little percent, right? But think about what that does to these children. So what's fascinating now is like, even the children, it's like we're trying to pour into the children of saying like, here's all these options. I mean, and I'm super, super excited about it because they have that joy and that excitement of like, now I can be like these other kids, but I'm actually eating something healthier. The thing that I love about the community here is how supportive they are. I mean, it's such an amazing supportive community, and Herban wouldn't be here without them.